Okay, welcome everyone. Kyle with Top Mint Games. We're here to have another look at the Naruto Boruto card game. We got another video where we had a brief explanation, but Robert and I are going to actually play the game. Robert, have you ever played this game before?
No, first time.
First time. We're going to teach him, so if you want to follow along, if you don't know how to play this game, this is a great video where we're going to show you how to play, go over the basics.
Probably also teach you how to teach people how to play.
Yes, this is, so in general, when you teach people how to play games, you just want to go over the basics. Now, Robert's a pretty advanced trading card gamer. We got this sheet here. So the thing about the Naruto Boruto card game is it has a lot of icons. So that's usually the biggest learning curve, but if you have this next to the table, then you can use it as a reference. And it only takes you a few games before you remember what the icons do, because it's pretty logical, especially if you're generally familiar with card games. For example, here's like the triggers section. When you see this symbol, it means it triggers on summon. When you see this symbol, it means it triggers when it attacks. When you see this symbol, it means it triggers when it's destroyed. So on and so forth. So we're going to have this as reference. That way Robert can look at cards in his hand and know what's what. So if you want to play the game, you're going to need a couple of decks. They sell them in two-player starters. There's two different two-player starters and then two different single decks. But you need a deck that's at least, a legal deck is at least 50 cards, no maximum, and you can play at most 3 copies of a card, and you can only play 1 or 2 colors. So we have, this one's a red-blue deck, and then Robert is playing the green and purple deck. In addition, you have the option to play with an extra deck, which, these all come in the box, so it's not like you don't have to play with these, but you generally do. And the thing about the extra deck is it has a minimum of at least 6 cards in the extra deck, and no maximum, and you can only play 1 copy of every extra deck card. Okay, so if you got decks, first, normally you roll, and you randomly determine who goes first. You don't pick who goes first, it's just you roll to see who goes first in this game. And that's what you normally do. But in this game, I'm just going to go first because usually if you're playing a game, it's good to go first so they can see how it's done before they have to take a turn. Okay, so what you're going to do to start a game, you're going to take all your extra deck cards and you're actually going to shuffle them. If you're used to other card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you get to look at your extra deck, in this game it doesn't work that way. You actually have to draw these. So you don't, when you do draw an extra deck battler, you don't know what you're going to get. Okay, then you also shuffle your deck. It's pretty typical, a lot of card games. You just shuffle a deck. Let your opponent cut. It's usually good courtesy.
And we get sleeves, these are standard size.
Yes, if you use sleeves, you use standard size card sleeves. That's going to be the same as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon cards, Dragon Ball Super. Most card games. Most American card games.
I'm not sure what about those.
These are oversized. They're kind of harder to find. But yeah, I forget exactly what these called, but they're called like oversized. But essentially, if you need to know the dimensions, they're 3.5 by 5 inches because basically they're the size of 2 normal cards.
And can they get standard size card sleeves on your website?
We don't have any currently in stock, but we do have them. So if you're local, we can get some. But yeah, if you do want to check out stuff, we do have things on our website. If you go to topmintgames.com. Okay, so we're good to go. All right. I'm purple, okay. So what you're going to do to start the game, first thing you do is you're going to take the top 5 cards of your deck, and this is called your Guardian stack. So if you're familiar with Dragon Ball Super, or if you're familiar with Duel Masters or Kaijudo, it's similar to that. These are like your shields or your life in the game. And they're technically a stack in the rules, but when I play, I usually like to lay them out. That way they can see how many I have. But you never get to look at these, so when you deal them out, don't look at them. And it's a secret to you and your opponent. No one knows what these are. Currently, they don't have any way in the game to look at them. If you do ever add a Guardian, it goes on the top of the Guardian stack. And if they attack your Guardian stack, they're going to attack the top one of the game. So this is the main way to win in the game. So the object of the game is to win, and there's 2 main ways to win. There's a third way to win as well. The third way is the way that I've never had happen, which is if you go to draw a card from an empty deck, you will lose. But I've never had coming close to that, but that's technically a rule. The main way to win the game is if you can attack all of their guardians down and they have no more guardian stack, and then you can attack them one final time and they don't have any way to stop the attack, you win the game. So the opposite game is to get rid of these. The other way to win the game is you can send your characters on quests. And if you achieve 5 quests, then you automatically win the game. We're not going to get too much into that in this game, but it is a thing, and you can check it out in the rulebook. It's pretty rare that we have it happen. Most of the time, you win by attacking all their guardians. So we're going to focus on that this first game. Okay, so after you do that, you're going to draw a hand of 5 cards. And this is from your regular deck. You never draw cards from your extra deck unless you're instructed specifically to do so with the symbol. It'll say normally a draw card is a +1 blue symbol. I don't know if you can see that from there, but it's a +1 blue symbol to draw a card. If you see +1 blue symbol and it has an EX at the bottom, that means you're going to draw an extra deck card. So normally when you start your turn, you'll draw from your regular deck. Okay, so we're going to be able to, this is your hand, so we're going to look at our hand. And on all the different cards, there's 2 kinds of cards. We have...
You just want to grab some of the extra cards?
Well, I don't mind showing these, but...
Okay.
So these ones, so there's 2 kinds of cards. There's cards, these are called battlers. They have a yellow cost, a black border, and then in the bottom left-hand corner, they have a strength number. Then the other types of cards are like this. They have a blue cost, a white border, and they have no strength. These are called action cards. So the battlers, they stay in play and they can battle. And then the actions, you just play them, do what they say, and then they go to the discard pile. Okay, so I'm gonna put this over here. And so how you play this game is you have the number in the top corner is the cost for the card. Now in most games you need like resources or something to play cards. The cool thing about the Naruto Boruto card game is you don't need any resources to play cards. You can play your strongest card in your deck for your first play. Now to do that, you're going to pay this cost. And so there's this thing that's important. This is called the chrono gauge, and it starts off at 0 on the first player's first turn. Now how that works is when you play a card, whatever the cost is, you're going to move the chrono gauge towards your opponent's direction. And if it's ever at 0 or on your side, it's still your turn. If it ever passes to the 1 or more on your opponent's side, if you played a card, you'll resolve its effects, and if it has an on-summon ability, you'll resolve the abilities that the card says. But after all that's done resolving any effects from that play, your turn will immediately end, and it will be your opponent's turn. That can come up important later, because sometimes if you play a card and it ends your turn, you won't be able to attack. So you usually want to attack before you play cards, but not always. So I'm going to take the first turn. And in general, it's a good rule not to give them too much chrono gauge, but sometimes it can be worth it if you just play a really strong card. It can be a nice little play. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this card right here. It's Sasuke Uchiha, and he costs 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the gauge over to 4 on Robert's side. And Sasuke, he has a ability. When he's summoned, I draw an extra deck card. So this is going to go into my hand. So it's a card in your hand, so you can, if a card says discard a card, you can discard your extra deck cards. Okay, so we're done resolving that. The chrono gauge is on Robert's side. Oh, I forgot to draw a card. So even if you go first, you still draw a card for your first turn. But like a lot of other games, my turn's immediately ending, but even if my turn wasn't immediately ending, I couldn't attack or send this character on a quest the turn that he's played. I have to wait a turn for it to get around to him. Okay, Robert, so it's going to be your turn because the chrono gauge is on your side. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to untap, which means turn upright and ready all of your battlers, and you're going to draw a card, and then from there you can start playing cards. And it's kind of one of those games where you just have a giant main phase. You can play a card, attack, play another card, attack again, in whatever order you want to do.
think I should play Naruto Uzumaki.
Okay, that's a nice little play. Okay, so he costs 3, so you're going to move the chrono gauge 3 in my direction, which is going to put you to 1. So it's still your turn.
Okay.
And
he doesn't have any on summon effects.
he doesn't, but his abilities, so you got to look at the symbols. This means your other battlers,
Okay.
and this one technically has a errata to be in your hand, but that's kind of given in my opinion. But your other battlers gain -1 cost. So he makes all your other battlers cost 1 less to play while he's in play.
Oh, so that's how this reads. So it's like if you were to read this in text, it's your battlers gain -1 cost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, you just kind of read it right to left. And sometimes they have 2 bars when, like Sasuke here has an ability, a triggered ability, and then he has an unsummon ability, and they put that on 2 separate lines. But yeah, the interesting thing about this game is it has no card text. It just has symbols. So, you know, and it comes with rulebook in multiple languages, so you can play with your friends no matter what language they're playing, and they can be able to look at your cards and understand what they do.
Is there zones?
There's the only zones really is you have your guardian stack, you have your extra deck, your discard pile, and in play in your hand.
So it doesn't matter in what order my cards go.
No, you can move them around. Yeah, it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh where they have specific zones they need to be.
Okay, so what are my other options I can do other than playing cards?
Well, you could attack with him if he was already in play.
Okay, so he has quote-unquote summoning sickness.
Yes.
Some nature.
Yeah, he can't attack right away unless it has fast. If it has a little blue boot symbol, it can attack right away.
Okay.
So you can do that. You can't send him on a quest either because you just played him. And basically, you can just play cards. Now, some abilities have cards with tap as their cost. And again, you couldn't do that if you just played him.
Okay.
So you can play another card. Now, what you can do, if you wanted to, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can always just pass your turn. You don't have to keep playing cards.
Okay.
If you just pass your turn, though, if you ever do that, because the gauge is at 0 or on your side, it will auto give me 3 gauge to work with.
It'll go to 3 on your
It'll go to 3 on my side,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So you don't really want to do that, because that's just giving me 4 resources for no benefit to you because you didn't get to play a card.
Okay.
So you usually want to go ahead and play.
I'm assuming there's times where that may come up, but in general...
Pretty rare.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty rare.
Okay. So my question is, can I ever go past 10? So say something costs...
Yes.
12.
Yes, you can. That's never came up.
Okay.
Well, there's situations where it could come up, but yeah, there's no limit. It's just generally, like the most expensive card in the game right now is 10.
Okay. So I guess I'll play the other Naruto's on my...
Okay, we got 2 Narutos, which is perfectly fine. Doesn't make sense, but...
Yeah, so there's no there's no rules of uniqueness or anything like that in this game?
No, there's not. You can play. You could play multiple of this exact same card. Like you can play up to 3 in your deck. You can have all of them out at once.
Okay. Good. So when he comes in, I summon +1 extra deck, so I can draw an extra deck card?
Yes, and technically you have to do this first because it's on the top. Now this ability right here, it's got a blue symbol with some crossed swords. That ability is called Sentinel. And this is basically your only way in the game to block.
Okay.
So if you ever have... And so the thing is that when you summon a battler with Sentinel, you can choose to, and this is optional, you can keep him untapped, but you can choose to tap him.
Okay.
Now the benefit to him being tapped is a battler with Sentinel, when it's tapped, I have to get over him before I can attack your Guardian stack. So he protects.
Okay.
Now he's going to untap on your next turn, so then you would have to attack with him or something to be able to...
But Sentinel means he can come into play in rest mode.
Yes, he can come into play tapped, rest, however you want to think of it. The game calls it tapped, but...
Okay, tapped, okay.
But yeah, he comes in sideways if you want. You can... Because here's the thing, is when you go to attack, you can either attack the Guardian stack, or you can attack tapped characters.
But if a card has Sentinel, you have to attack it.
I don't have to attack it, but I can't attack your Guardian stack if he's tapped.
Okay, but since this card doesn't have Sentinel, if this was tapped...
I could attack it. But I don't have to.
Or my Guardian.
Yeah, so like if only this one was tapped, but the Sentinel wasn't tapped, or you didn't even have one, I have a choice. I can go here or here.
Right.
But with the Sentinel, I can't attack your Guardian stack.
Until you...
Yeah, he won't protect other characters, so if you have them both tapped, I can still attack him.
Right, but you can't attack my Guardians until you get rid of
Yes, until I get rid of him. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, anyways, so...
So you're gonna go ahead and tap him?
Yeah,
to
tap
defend,
him,
and then when he summons?
I'm gonna draw an extra card.
Yep, when you summon, you draw an extra deck card. Okay, now it's still your turn, so I'll explain how the extra deck cards work.
Well, it's not my turn. This costs 4.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is going to cost 5.
Oh, it costs 4.
3,
Right?
4. You're right. Okay, cool. Yes, because this one reduces his cost. Correct. So yeah, I'm going to go to 3 on my side because you're at 1, 2. Yep, I'm going to go to 3. So yeah, we resolved all the in-play effects. So your turn immediately ends, and it's my turn, so I draw a card. Okay, now it's my turn. So I could attack with him. But right now he's too weak because Naruto has 5 strength and Sasuke has 3 strength. At least this one does. There's different Sasukes. So I don't want to attack him because what it is that if you're less, if they're not the same strength, the one with lesser strength gets destroyed at the end of the battle.
And no matter if you're the one attacking or I'm the one.
It doesn't matter who's attacking.
Okay.
Also, if they're the same strength, they're both destroyed.
Okay.
So let's see. Yeah, I have to figure that how to do that because he can't attack right now, so he's not really doing anything. Let's see if I have a way to answer card, and I'm working with 3. Ooh, I think I want to maybe do that. No, I don't want to do that. So sometimes you can't really do what you want to do, so you have to just maybe set up for next turn. So let's see. What comes to work with? Oh, I could always. Oh no, I can't afford that yet. Ooh, I have a solution. Actually. This is what we're gonna do. Alright, I have a good plan. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna summon Sai Yamanaka. He costs 2, so I'm gonna go down 2. And he doesn't have any effects when he's summoned. But now we're gonna get into the extra deck mechanic.
Okay.
So to play the extra, I have this one. It's Sasuke's Susanoo. It's kind of cool because we're actually getting some flavor in here. Sasuke is gonna actually turn into this dude. So the extra deck ones, they have a different colored cost here. Notice how it's green with some gold on the outside? You don't pay Chrono Gauge to summon this.
Okay.
Instead, you destroy characters that add up or exceed its cost. So I need to destroy my characters that cost at least 6. It could be more, but it needs to be at least 6 because this costs 6. And so that's what I'm going to do. So this is 4 plus 2, which is exactly enough. Like I said, it could be more. If this was 4 and this was 7, then you could still get rid of both if you wanted to.
At least 6.
Yes, and they can be tapped or untapped. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So this isn't going to cost my Chrono Gauge, so it'll still be my turn. So I'm going to destroy these 2 to summon this.
Okay.
Now I have a couple of effects happening, and when that happens, the turn player does all their effects in whatever order they want, and then the non-turn player does all of their effects in whatever order they want. So I have multiple effects because Sasuke Susanoo has an on-summon effect that says chosen battler with 5 strength or less is destroyed. And then Sasuke Uchiha says when he's destroyed, he has this ability called Legion, which means when he's destroyed, and it will activate because this is a destruction. When he's destroyed, I will reveal the top card of my deck. If it's a battler, it goes in my hand, otherwise it goes in my discard pile. So cool, I'm going to actually use Sasuke Susanoo summon effect to destroy Naruto.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use the Sasuke Uchiha to get Kiba Inuzuka in my hand. Okay. Alright. Now, a lot of the extra deck battlers, they have fast. You'll notice that. Not all of them do, but most of them do. So he can attack right away. And because I know this game a little bit, I'm in fear of attacking into a Guardian that could have a drawback here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to 0 before I attack. And I'm going to go ahead and play Sakura Haruna. And it's an action, so it's not a battler. I'm just going to do the effect and put it in the discard pile. She says, chosen battler with 3 or less power is destroyed, so I'm destroying Naruto. She's going to pimp slap Naruto into the discard pile. Okay, so it's still my turn. So I can play more cards or attack, but I'm going to attack because this has fast. Also, this ability here, it's got a fist with a shield and it says +1. That means when it attacks the Guardian stack, if the first attack resolves, it attacks. It's not an additional attack, so if it has an on-attack trigger, it won't trigger again, but it can basically destroy an extra Guardian. But we do resolve him at once, so if he's somehow destroyed from the first Guardian attack, he won't hit another one.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and attack. So you tap to attack, and so I'm attacking this Guardian. This is the top of your Guardian stack. So when we do that, we're going to flip it over. Ooh. That's a blunder for me. Okay, whatever. It happens. So what you do is, first of all, you'll notice a lot of cards have in the bottom corner an ability that says ability, and it has a big old shield that looks like the Guardian shield on other cards. Basically, that goes off if it's revealed as a Guardian.
Which one goes off?
This, in the bottom corner. It's in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
It has a shield that says ability on it, and then you just do whatever it says. Kakashi has no ability, but that's probably just to balance the card. Because since it's a battler, in addition to the effect, Sasuke Susanoo is now battling Kakashi.
Okay.
And so since Kakashi has 12 strength, which is much more than the 6 strength here, mine is going to die.
Okay.
So it's going to get destroyed, go to the discard pile, and the Guardian will always get destroyed unless it has a Guardian ability to return itself to its hand or something. But in this case, the Kakashi came in and defended, but hey, you know, you traded 1 for 1 and you took something out.
Okay.
Okay, so it's still my turn because I am on 0. I'm going to pay 2 and then play Kiba Inuzuka that I just got. And it's going to put 2 Chrono Gauge on Robert's side, and he has no effects on summon, so it's your turn.
This is effects on attack.
His effect is on his destruction. It gives me 1 Chrono Gauge.
Okay.
It gives me, like, it'll move the Chrono Gauge 1 in my direction when he's destroyed.
Let's see. So it was a mock.
Okay, that dude is strong.
And I'm gonna Sentinel him, and then I get to draw.
Draw an EX. Okay. Alright, and he costs 8, so that's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That puts 6 on my side. So your turn's going to end.
Yep. 9 strength. So
yeah,
he's alive.
Yeah, the cards that cost a lot, they usually make it worth it playing a big costing card. Okay. I have a lot of options. Ooh, it has Sentinel. I need to get over that. I do have a card to get over that. So I'm going to have a really good tempo play here. I'm going to spend 6 and go to 0 to play Sai.
Okay.
And his on-summon effect is in Chosen Battler's Return to Hand, so put Boruto back in your hand. But hey, you still did get a little bit of advantage because you drew the X card on summon, so it's not a total loss. But now your Guardians are cleared away. And just a FYI for the viewers at home, this deck is a lot more aggressive than Robert's deck. His deck has stronger cards in the later game. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with Kiba. So Kiba's going to attack Guardian.
He came in for 6, didn't he? Side?
Yes.
So, oh yeah.
I was at 6, so I go to 0. Yep.
Okay.
So I'm attacking your Guardian. So go ahead and flip it over. Alright, so you have an ability. You're going to draw an EX card. That's this little bit in the corner. And it has 3 strength to Kiba's 1. So Kiba's going to get destroyed. Now 10-10 will still get destroyed as well. And if they have destruction effects, it doesn't count. It's only like when they're destroyed in play.
Mm-hmm.
But he has an effect when he's destroyed, and he's going to give me 1 Chrono Gauge. So it was a 1-for-1 trade, but I got closer to winning, so it's not terrible. All right, I'm also going to use I'm going to spend 2, putting Robert at 1 to play Inojin Yamanaka. And it's your turn, Robert. You got 1 Chrono Gauge.
Okay. 1 Chrono Gauge. I gotta look at this real fast. those other cards are called. They're not called battler cards, right?
The extra deck?
Yeah.
No, they're battlers.
The white border cards.
No, yeah, the white borders, those aren't battlers, those are actions.
So let's try playing Boruto Uzumaki again.
Okay, you're gonna try for that again?
Yeah, and I get to draw still, right?
Mm-hmm. You draw an EX. So it's gonna be my turn. We're gonna be 7 on my side. Okay, so I'm gonna take my turn, draw a card. Okay, fortunately I don't have another side. But actually I might be able to do a little something, actually. It's really strong.
It's alright, guys. Look at all the cards I have in my hand.
Yeah, see that's the thing is like I am kind of winning the damage race, but I'm running out of cards. I only have 4 cards in hand. Robert has 5 cards plus 4 extra deck, so he's got 9 cards to work with. Let's see, what do we want to do? I got a plan actually. I got a good plan. Well, no, I can't do that. Well, actually, I kind of like that. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play Yamato. 1, 2, 3. And Yamato draws me an EX. And then returns one of my battlers and any other battler of my choice to the hand. So I'm actually gonna put my side back in my hand and your Boruto back in your hand. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and now the way's clear, I'm gonna attack with Inojin. Granny is gonna draw you an EX. You almost have your whole EX deck in your hand. And she's gonna take out Inojin, and he has, or she, or I don't know, I'm not familiar with Naruto. I think this is a female character. Anyway, she has an ability to Legion. So Tsunade will go in my hand. Okay. Alright. I'm getting close. I haven't, ooh.
And extra cards you don't pay them with the Chrono.
No, yeah, you have to destroy your other characters, and they can't destroy each other. That would be kind of broken if you could just chain one into the other. So they specified in like a FAQ that you can't do that.
Okay.
See, I'm at 4. I can win this turn as much as I want to. So I'm going to play Mitsuki, cost 2, and he has fast, so I'm going to attack the Guardian. Ooh, nice.
So
well,
your battler gains
Sentinel. Yeah, so all of your, so if you had like tapped battlers, they would gain Sentinel that turn. And so like that would be good in another situation. It's irrelevant now. But hey, at the least, Boruto, it will take out Mitsuki. So you at least traded there. And I'm gonna go ahead and play I'm gonna make this game interesting. I'm gonna play this other Sasuke. 7 cost blue Sasuke. So it's gonna be 7, so it's gonna put 5 on you. Has an on summon effect to draw a regular card and an EX card. And that's my turn.
I'm at how much? 5.
Oh, and so just FYI, Robert, because this might come up,
Yep.
is he has what's called Protector,
What is that?
which means you have to target him
With,
before you can target stuff without Protector. So he kind of protects everyone else from targeting effects.
Okay.
But to be fair, you kind of would want to target him.
Okay.
But it's kind of annoying too, because sometimes you have a targeting effect that can destroy something that's weak, but he'll still protect him even because you can't even target him with the card that only destroys weak things.
Right.
So he's just like, nope.
Okay, so I'm going to play it doesn't matter, but I need her for the cost. So I'm gonna play Sakura Haruna.
Okay.
So she costs 3, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna play Kenshiki Otsutsuki, 1, 2.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sacrifice them for Gara.
Alright.
And then Kenshiki says kill something with 5+.
No, that's when he attacks.
Oh, when he
it's
attacks.
a fist.
Okay.
It's kind of close to the destroyed, but one's an explosion, one's a fist.
Okay.
With an explosion behind
my
it.
My question here is, why would it have fast and sentinel? I guess just in case I couldn't attack over something?
Sure, yeah, it gives you options.
Okay.
Well, then in general, Sentinel always works when it's tapped regardless. So you could swing with it and the Sentinel would still take effect because he's tapped.
Okay. So, but this is attack, right? Attack.
Yeah, no, that's a destruction trigger.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell. So this one's got a fist and that one's got an explosion.
So then I'll attack.
Okay, so attacking my Guardians?
Yes.
Alright.
So what is that?
Return it to your hand.
Okay.
That was pretty good for me.
Alright.
Yeah.
So
You just invested a lot in that.
That's okay, it's okay. So team 7.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So I think this heals me 1?
Yeah, it costs you 3. 1, 2, so you're gonna put me at 3, but yes, it gives you Guardian, so you'll just take it from the top.
I was gonna put you at 3 anyway, so.
Yeah. Okay, cool, yeah, it healed you. Cool.
Alright, and
so it's my turn?
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm gonna draw a card. The cool thing about this game is you really don't have to ask your opponent if it's your turn because
it's just it is my turn.
Yeah, exactly.
So my question though is, can I ever go past 5?
You can have as many Guardians as you're able to manage.
Okay.
There's no limit. Okay, so I got some potentially bad news for you. Okay. Well, we'll see. Let's see what fate decides. So I'm gonna attack with Sasuke.
Yep.
So he attacks. All right. He gets over him. He only has 8, so he attacks 1 additional. So attack your additional. Ooh.
Battler with 7
or more cost. So he can destroy. He won't be able to destroy him on strength, but he'll destroy Sasuke
on ability.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. The good thing for me though. Oh wait, how much am I at?
Good.
3. Okay. So I'm going for game. I'm gonna go to 1. Play Sakura, and she will just be fodder for Gamabunta, which has fast.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the final attack at you with no Guardian stack, and I'm going to win the game. Cool. So that's how you play. And what do you think, Robert?
Yeah, I think it's definitely... I think there was a lot of things that I could have done, but one of the things that I think is different from this game is you're scared to get them... Like, I should have just put Boruto out really early.
Yeah, actually, I found that, like, especially this Kakashi. He's not a bad turn 1 play. Yes, you give him 10 resources, and it's annoying if they do have an answer for him. Like, if I'm able to play this Sai and bounce it back to your hand, and I only invested 6, and I still have 4 more to work with on my turn, and I just time watch you. But hear me out. The Kakashi still gives you a Guardian on summon.
Yep.
So at least you get that.
It heals you.
And then if I don't have an answer to the Kakashi, he hits 4 Guardians.
Right. One of the other combos that I kind of figured was I should have just played the Naruto Uzumaki because I was at 3 when I played it, and I could have just made Kakashi cost 9, so it gives them less to work with. But the other thing too is since they don't have, they kind of have the summoning sickness. Even if they bounce the card, the tempo swing is fine because next turn he has to answer it again.
Yeah, that's true.
Or he has to, like, if he answers Kakashi, it healed me for 1, and then we just play this, and now he has to answer this again.
Yeah, that is one way to win, and that's kind of how this deck's built, is if you can just slam, haymaker after haymaker, eventually they'll run out of answers, and they'll be spending their time answering them because your cards are better. I mean, they cost more for a reason. The game can go either way. We built some pretty balanced decks. We've had both decks win against each other. Well, not me and Robert, but Tom, who's also played some games on our channel. We played a lot of games with these decks. But it's pretty fun. If you want to pick it up, we've done some openings of the sets. and you can watch those. And the cool thing about them is, yeah, you get a playset of every card. And if you do like to collect cards, they have tournament packs where they have foil. That's the only way to get the foil versions of the cards. So if you want to collect foils, they have tournament packs that you can maybe get at your local game store. If they have events for it, or if they, they can order them through their distributor who also sells this game. Or, you can always find the tournament cards online as well.
Yeah, and from what my understanding is, you play multiplayer with this game?
Yeah, multiplayer works fine. So if you like multiplayer, like if it's you and a few friends, then we played, me and 2 friends played this game with 3 people, and it worked fantastic. It doesn't really tell you in the rules how to manage that, but how we did it was, like, if let's say we're going clockwise for turn order, and like I'm passing to Robert, Robert's passing to this other person, let's say Johnny is his name, and so if I'm passing to Robert, when I give Chrono Gauge, I'm going to give it to Robert. But then when Robert gives Chrono Gauge, he's going to give it to Johnny, and then Johnny passes turn to me, so Johnny's going to give me Chrono Gauge, and it worked really elegantly. So 3 players was great. 4 players, I don't see how that would be any different, really. But, I mean, you could do teams maybe if we wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know how to manage that exactly, but you could do something like I always pass to this player. But, yeah, I don't know how to manage that. But 3 players worked great when we did 3 players. And you can build your decks however you want. They come with pre-built decks, but as long as you follow the deck rules, you can make your own custom deck with your own favorite characters. So if you just really like certain characters, it's cool, and it's cool versus other games where you have to worry about your curve. Like, all right, I need to play so many low drops and so many high drops. This game's like, just play your favorite cards. Because the strong cards you can play right away, and yes, they give your opponent opportunity to play more cards at once, but the strong cards cost a lot for a reason. Anyway, if you want to check out those other videos, they're on our channel, some openings, and we're going to have more, and hopefully we'll do some more matches of this game.
Hopefully we can put some deck profiles up, because I think one of the biggest things is I didn't really know what I was playing.
Yeah, explaining what the cards do and kind of
why
they
they're
synergize.
Yeah. Which, you can kind of take anything that you get from this. So from any kind of, like, he talked about tempo and stuff, just kind of also like incorporating a little bit of card theory into it, game theory. But because every game has tempo in it, but hopefully you can do a deck. It would be awesome to see a deck profile, and you explain how the tempo is gained and lost in this deck versus
I feel like
deck.
in this game, tempo is more important than a lot of other games, because tempo is the whole mechanic to play your cards.
Yeah.
So, if you play a big card and they just answer it with a lesser costing card, they can then make a follow-up play, and they got to answer your card and make a play to advance their play, and then all you did was nothing. It's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
But there's definitely risk and reward, because that doesn't mean nothing but tempo cards are relevant.
Right. Overall, my first impression of the game is I wouldn't mind picking this game up, just on the simple fact that, like, when I pick up games, it's not like a trading card game where I have to keep up with, like, I have to buy a case of cards. I don't know, what is this game going to cost me if I were to want to get all the cards today?
You can reasonably get a play set of everything for like $100 if you wanted every card in the game. Like a play set of every card in the game, because the first 2 sets come with enough cards for 2 people to play, and each of those, I think MSRP is like $35.
Yeah.
So that, that for 2 decks isn't bad. That's about $15, $17 a deck. And then, I think the other decks, they're anywhere from $15 to $20 for the 2 individual sets, which there's 2 of those.
Yeah.
So, it would be, 35 to 70, plus, another 30 for the other 2 decks. So, it's like $100, and you would have everything, but you don't necessarily have to even do that. You could just literally buy a couple sets. Like, if you just like, red, green or something, you could just buy, all the sets with red, green cards. But there's an equal amount of all the colors. There's 4 colors in the game, which we were playing all of them. There's purple, green, blue, and red.
Yeah, and the color identity, I forget, I'm assuming it's the bottom band of the cards.
Yep, and it's also on the name. It's at the bottom band and on the name.
Okay. Yeah, I'd pick it up. It's a good side game.
It is. I do love this game. It's fun. It's unique. I like that it's not just like any other game. It's kind of got its own unique thing. The system, it was created by this game designer his name is Ryan Miller, and he's worked on a lot of games you might have heard of. And they made this game, it's compatible with some other games they made. They made a Godzilla one, and they also made a Evangelion game. So if you like that anime too, then you can play those, and you can play the Evangelion cards against the Naruto cards. Like, they work technically, you could do that. You could do a cross play if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You could just keep it Naruto. The tournament circuits that I've seen for this game, Pro Play Games, if you're interested in that, has hosted some big prize cash tournaments. They had like a $25,000 tournament for it. And yeah, it was just, they only allowed Naruto cards in that, but it's a pretty cool game. If you want to check it out, I definitely recommend it. And if you want to check out the other videos, they're on our channel, and thank you for watching.